be a short video, okay? So I'm gonna talk to y'all while I'm getting a little bit of sun in here. I was 2 hours ago. I was just like, really just asking myself, like, why are so many people toxic now? And some don't even know they are. Like, they don't even realize that always bragging about themselves, always talking about what they're doing and what they don't do anymore. That's toxic. But a lot of people don't know they're toxic. And why are so many people toxic? One of the main reasons why people are toxic is people are not glamorizing emptiness. They're not glamorizing having a life in which nothing is going on. They're not talking online. They're not using these apps for free therapy. They're not rushing to join trauma bonding groups. They don't understand that a lot of things clear out of your life sometimes by you just doing nothing about it. Like straight up just like letting it just go on its own. No talking about it, no hanging out where it's going on. You know, if you don't believe me, look at this park. See how empty this park is? See? Look at that. That's because people are running from emptiness. They don't want to go to emptiness. They only want to go to emptiness to get a download. They only want to go to emptiness to find clarity. They don't want to go to emptiness just because the feeling of emptiness feels good. They don't want to do that. People are running from what they may discover about themselves in long periods of time in emptiness. So they go to emptiness, 20 minutes, 30-minute walk outside, sit outside 20 minutes, go home. They don't chase emptiness through their day. They have emptiness on a schedule. This is real, y'all. And they don't even realize that meditating for 20 minutes do not get rid of the emotional clutter. You have to have an abundance of emptiness in your life in order for that to automatically occur. Okay? Um, I now say, how empty can I get? When I packed my book bag today, I said, well, how empty can I get this book bag? I realized there was about 6 books in here that I never needed to take with me. But I was taking them because of the anxiety of that I might be missing out, that I may not get information that I'm supposed to get. So I put more in there, not knowing that it was taking away some of the emptiness. See, I could smush the bag now. See, by me able to smush that bag, the bag can breathe. There's breathing room in here. It's empty enough. If you feel like you're suffocating and you keep feeling like you're suffocating for a while, believe it or not, you're going to become toxic. The more you feel like a pillow is over your face for days and days and days, you will become toxic and not even know. You don't have to do nothing most of the time to clear out the script so that you can automatically do what you need to do to get out your situation. Sometimes, most of the time, you just got to do nothing. That's something that I realized. Like when I would get creatively blocked, I would feel like I need to meditate, I need to pray, I need to look in books, get exercises, go to workshops. When really I needed to just face the sun and do nothing. Literally just face the sunrise and do nothing and just be there. And then when I would sit down and write 2 hours later, something would just come to me at that time. Something I would be writing about something I didn't even know was in my subconsciousness. Now the second reason why so many people are toxic, okay, is because people think that talking about their problems solves it. Talking about problems do not solve it. Talking about getting more wisdom doesn't fix it. Joining clubs to talk about it online doesn't fix it. What fix it is your emotional connection to it. Okay? You having more of a positive or feel good emotion about it than dark emotion about whatever is hurting you. And really, the only way to get there is through creativity. Because you're respecting other people's boundaries by not treating people like an unpaid therapist. And you're not really chasing a reward. You're just really doing creative art because it feels good. But the art you're doing is still a celebration of the darkness. So you found a way to get light to the dark parts of your trauma. You found a way. So your feeling, your negative feeling about it is not as overwhelming. So I'm not saying that don't go to therapy, but how many people are wasting thousands and thousands of dollars and hours on therapy and say it never worked? What I know has always worked to get rid of the toxicity in my family is actually having good times, actually doing fun things together, actually doing something artistic. And I noticed when we would go back around each other at a later time, we were nicer, we were kinder, we were more peaceful. We was more sympathetic of each other's feelings. What we consider boredom now, what we consider boredom is actually exactly what we need. So, for example, we consider it's boring now. We're disconnected if we go to museums. If we just go to the park to be at the park, oh, that's boring. That needs to be on a schedule because it's boring. But I'm telling you no lie, that's exactly what everyone needs. More than chatting in the comments, more than more books on the problem. You don't need more than that. You need to do things that feel good. And you need to do them with your family and friends. And you need to tell them what we're doing. We are not doing good things for you to talk about your toxic mama. If you cannot stick with the good times we're having, then don't even go out with me no more. I stopped hanging out with a certain friend because every time I would want to go out and have a good time, they wanted to talk about their ex-wife and be toxic about society when all I wanted to do was do karaoke and go dancing. People who resist going with the flow of happiness is not worth your time. It doesn't matter how much money they got or how long you know them. If they can't go with the flow of joy when y'all are in the throes of it, they're not worth your time. And they're actually toxic. To resist a good time is toxic. It doesn't even matter how they resist the time. You trying to do a little baking, cooking, fun little cookies with them, and they want to start telling you about how they man cheated on them. No, 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 no. It's time that we start sending those type of people to a paid therapist because obviously they don't want the most high therapy. They don't want just the therapy of the fresh air. They don't want the therapy of the good times. And here's another thing why people are toxic. A lot of people are toxic. Now, because people are setting goals. There is no goals. I know this is wild, but when people set a goal and they don't achieve it, they get bitter. They say, I expected this man to propose to me and he didn't. Okay, they bitter. Oh, I expected my book to sell a lot and it didn't. I'm bitter. I'm going to get toxic. I'm going to start hating on publishers. You don't have no goals. You just have a life. That's it. That is it. When I started setting goals like, oh yeah, I'm going to submit 5 poems a week and I'm striving for 10 accepting letters a year and I want my book to at least sell 10 copies in the first month. When some of that stuff didn't happen, I grew into a very bitter writer and I actually stopped writing. Throw away the goals. Throw away the goals. It doesn't matter how many hoops you shoot. You're hooping. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter how many good dates you have. You went on dates, you enjoyed something about the dates, at least one of those person probably was a good date, that's enough. I don't want goals anymore. It's passively toxic. As soon as you don't achieve those goals and other people know or see that you're trying to achieve those goals, when you don't, someone's going to remind you that you didn't. Someone's going to want to talk about it with you. And you're going to say, I don't want to talk about that I felt this goal. But they're going to go, I was just trying to give you some comfort about failing your goal. See what I'm saying? When you don't set goals, you don't have to worry about possible failure. You're not living in fear that you might fail. You're like, I'm just writing this PDF because I just enjoy, this is a subject I enjoy. Like, for real. The more and more I set goals, more and more I started to set goals with writing my PDFs, the less I would write them. The more I would be like, nah. Because you're always going to see the competition in one way or another. The competition is going to come towards you and say, hi. So every single time you set a goal and the shadow energy sends the competition in your face, it starts to make you uncomfortable about going after that goal. So if you don't join the game, you don't have to live in fear. Don't participate in the game. The champion, you are a champion because you're doing it. You're not a champion because you've done it at a certain time or how much you've done it. There's people that never do what you have managed to do just one time. We're living in a world where people are obsessing with achieving goals, hair length, body weight, word count. It's like wow. I can remember a time in the '90s that none of us was thinking like that. In the '90s, I don't ever remember us saying we're gonna go on this walk, girl, because we're trying to get smaller waist. I don't remember anybody saying that. I don't remember anybody saying I'm greasing the scalp to grow your hair. I don't remember anyone saying that. I don't remember anyone saying I'm getting dressed up to go to the club because I'm trying to get me a man. No, it was I'm getting dressed up to go to the club because I'm celebrating my beauty and I want to dance and have a good time. That's why I'm going. And it was times we went and nobody asked us to dance, but we still kept going because guess what? We just went because the atmosphere was fun and we looked good and we knew it. So what I'm saying, what I'm saying is a lot of people are toxic because they are not glamorizing the obsolete way of living. It is obsolete to get dressed up and go to a nightclub. It is obsolete to go to the park just to play baseball and go home. Not trying to become a baseball player at NBA or whatever. Not trying to get your skills up, but just going and play. All that's obsolete. But that's exactly what we need. We need book bag life. See this here? This is what we need. We need to see more people carrying their book bag, not just because they're going to school in the morning. We need to see more people over 18 with their book bag, sitting at the park, reading their favorite book, writing poetry, not because they trying to prove they're a great poet and they could be a poet and they black. No, none of that. I'm writing poetry because I just enjoy it and I'm a book bag type of person. Period. Book bags are obsolete. I don't hardly even see kids walking with book bags anymore. There are hardly only people I see walking with book bags is the majorette people and the people that's going to after school program. Why? Because book bags are not in fashion. Book bags make you look childish. Book bags is nerdy. When yet book bags allow us to have smaller technology and not big old laptops where we could just do everything and anything on. Yeah, I have an Android tablet in here, but on my Android tablet there is no you could do YouTube videos. I can't do none of that on that tablet. That tablet is for reading and writing and learning. And I'm this close to deleting YouTube off my cell phone so that I so that I can't do live videos on my phone, that I have to do scheduled live videos on my laptop. This way, I'm still kind of living a little obsolete. Being able to access everything so quick, instantly like this creates toxicity. Because every time you have a thought or a feeling about something, instead of just going ahead and letting the air release it from you, you could just hop right on here and talk about it. And that gets toxic, y'all. Sometimes we need to just sit in what we're going through. We should not have to just push a button and be like, I got somebody to talk to about it. No. Even though I know we can, the positivity of yes, you can. You can find anybody to talk to online about whatever you're going through. Don't mean we should. Sometimes we gotta let the misery fester and get deep and swell inside us and burst out of us through some sort of manifestation that we doing, so we could be less toxic out here in society. Y'all, I'm telling you. Hi everybody, hi Star. Sometimes we just gotta let the emotion take over us so that we can get that idea that would change our life forever. But as long as we're always quick to get a release of what we're feeling, we'll never get on those magnificent ideas. We'll never get the royal ideas that would start to fix a lot of things in our life. People are afraid to let their emotions brood and take control sometimes. People are afraid of that. They don't want that to happen alone. They want to be in a crowd of people where everybody is showing how they let their emotions take over, rather than letting it take over by themselves or just what they boo. I got one friend who gets to witness how this emotion overcomes me, overwhelms me. Y'all, this is the truth. Now, I've been talking for 17 minutes. That's another thing, long form. I don't remember us talking for an hour straight in the 90s. See, that's obsolete. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get money. Okay, when people would talk for an hour, they was professors or they was running seminars. So if you're like always having your energy accessible to chit chat over hours in a day, you're receiving toxic energy and it's going to start to transform you into somebody toxic. So we do need to talk a lot less than we're talking. We think we're talking less than we should, but we're actually not. I see most people, they're pretending out here like they're not talking. They're walking like, oh, I'm a quiet person. Meanwhile, what it is they're using their resources to do all their talking. So they're coming out here and pretending like they're an introvert, that they're a peaceful person. When if you would go to look at their history in their cell phones and their text messages, you'll see that they're not like that. And then all of this glamorizing solitude. People are glamorizing solitude as a way of protecting themselves from other people's toxicity, rather than solitude to deal with your own. There's people saying it's the new trending. I'm protecting my energy from society because society is toxic. All this finger pointing. Solitude is for for your inner work on yourself as well. Solitude is also for confession. I don't want to sit in solitude and sit here and beat up society the whole time. Yeah, they talk to my mama talks to these people talk. I don't want to do that. I want to find out how I'm in my own way. I want to find out how I'm in my own way, and not for the sake of getting more money or keeping up with the Joneses, but just so I can sleep better at night. Period. I want to sit here and figure out how I can get back to a healthy, obsolete life and not care what anybody think. I'm sure there's people right now that think she crazy over there. She's sitting there just talking on her phone in a park like this. because a lot of people are grinding, are glamorizing, grinding, working on the weekend, doing overtime, slaving out in the house, slaving out in the yard. Let me get up and cut this grass and do all this. I got an image. My house got a reputation to protect. My house has an image it has to protect. When they know that they need more time doing nothing, and they know this, but they're not going towards it because they're scared of what everybody will think, what their neighbors will think if their neighbors saw them sitting around for 2 hours when they're cutting their grass. People are scared of judgment. Who cares? Who cares what anyone think about you? Just go and enjoy your peace. Just enjoy this feeling of being, and that's it. I don't go to workshops now to create quantity of work. I go to workshops because I want to go, because I want to have fun. I canceled about 15 workshops this week because I knew if I went, it wasn't going to be fun for me. I didn't feel well. I was tired. I wasn't in the best mood. And I had a negative mindset about the workshops. So I knew that I shouldn't even go. But now that I'm excited, I want to try. I can't wait to find out how to do this stained glass poetry. I can't wait to find out how to do this landscape painting. I'm in that obsolete curiosity type of mindset. Now I want to go. Now I want to go. I love the number one. The number one and the number two is amazing. Now it's like, no, if you don't got seven, you ain't in. Seven is the number of completion. You ain't got seven, babe. You ain't making it. I'm making it on one. I'm making it on one. Y'all, this is real. I saw a guy get out his car today. He was an older man. I guess he's looking for validation. And he was staring at me real hard. He puffed out his peacock chest. He wanted me to see his perfectly shaved beard. He wanted me to see his fancy car and that he had muscles even though he had a snow white face. And I looked at him and I said, he's toxic. He's toxic because he's trying to push his pleasure as mine. He's trying to make his pleasure as mine. He's trying to make me think that that's what happiness and that's what peace look like. Yet there are people that look just like him and in their house grieving their eyes out, missing loved ones, missing. I can remember when I had the perfect car and I had a nice corporate job with a 401 and everything. But yet I was sitting crying in my car every damn day because I was missing my dad. I was missing the things I was able to do in the 90s. I would go to the nightclubs and there would be nobody on the dance floor, nobody there, or the nightclubs were shut down. It was giving me depression that I could not live as free. I wasn't living as free as I was able to in the 90s. Even though I had money, even though I was able to take that dream vacation 2 weeks out of the year. I was able to drive a a a a, a gold. I had a Pontiac that was custom painted, and people used to say, "Woo, that's a nice Pontiac. That's a classic too." I had a classic Pontiac, the kind you see from the 80s, the throwbacks. I had one of those, and it was flawless, y'all. I wish I could find the pictures of it. I'm gonna look for the pictures, but it was the guy had custom painted it gold too, y'all. And I was like, I thought I was stuff. Like, I'm driving a gold Pontiac. I got 401. I got full benefits. I'm working in corporate and management. I got it going on. My daughter got the best daycare. Everything's just going on. But know what? I started to get more and more and more and more depressed. And then I started doing real messy stuff. I started drinking a lot. I started smoking cigarettes and through the hookah. I quit smoking for 15 years and suddenly started smoking a hookah, which is smoking cigarettes. And that led to me biting my nails again. Okay? One day I just said, I've had enough of this. And I just resigned. And I started to feel free. I could do free things. I could let the world look out for me, and I wasn't sorry about it. But everybody was like, Ooh, you're a bum, you're lazy. I had family members not talking to me. Parents weren't talking to me. Siblings were saying I was acting entitled. Neighbors, certain neighbors wasn't speaking anymore because I wasn't jumping out of my car in fancy corporate clothes. They knew I wasn't at my job anymore. Know what? If I could do it again, I would do it again. I didn't realize how lucky I was. And like a dumb fool, I let everybody convince me to go back to being a host of parasites. And I paid the price again. I went back to the corporate, went to the bank, even though I didn't have to. Even though I didn't have to. And know what? I got sucked dry for the last time. And then on the last week working at the bank, I just said, I'm not going in no more. I had been working temp jobs on and off ever since. The chance of me working a 9 to 5 job 40, 60 hours a week is less than zero. Because I know how toxic it makes you off your job. And I know how much you miss out. You're missing more. A lot of people are toxic because they're still in 9 to 5 job energy and they think they're not. They say because they're not clocking in to a job, they ain't in 9 to 5 energy. But they're treating their side hustles exactly how an employer would treat them at their 9 to 5 job. So technically, they're still at a 9 to 5 job. They still working 40, 60, 80 hours a week, probably more, and not realizing it because they're the boss of themselves. I am comfortable with having a YouTube channel that gives me $500 a month. And that be it. Now I know people saying that's you trying to live like a bum, Miss V, only getting $500 a month off of YouTube and you don't want another job. No, I don't. Because the system already owes me. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the system for everything else. Period. And I'll have more time for myself. I'll be able to just have emptiness and know the full pleasure of the emptiness rather than trying to get emptiness so I could go back and be a hardcore slave better than the last time. I don't want that energy. Okay? All right, y'all, I got to get ready to go. I have some recordings I have to watch. It's up to you. Okay, I'm not going to be one of these gurus no more telling you what to do. But I can tell you right now that there's a part of the future of glamorizing working and glamorizing talking about your problems all the time. There's a part of that future in which it becomes extremely toxic. So just know that you're headed towards that. You're not sensing it out right away because the money is so good while you're spending it. It's just so nice. It feels so good to just dump your stuff on strangers and they don't know where you live at. They can't comfort you for doing that. It feels so nice, but there's always a part where it leads to where it changes who you are and not in a good way. Not in a good way. What I think we all need is jobs that we enjoy and that we like and that care about peace within, not how fat the paycheck is. Because this system has things that can take care of what you can't take care of for yourself. And if you go researching it, you'll find those resources. So really, I feel like this. I just want some. If I go back out there with a 20, 30 hours a week job, it's definitely going to be something that I enjoy. That's worth my time. If I start to feel like it's not worth my time, then I really don't care how much it's paying me. Within a year, I'm leaving. I'm resigning. Unapologetic about it. Some of y'all are feeling depressed and down because you think that you're an indoor person when really you're an outdoor person. That's another reason why people are toxic. I'm just to stay inside. I'm stay inside. They know that they trained themselves. They had to train themselves to be an indoor person. That means you're really an outdoor person, but you're living in denial of fear of what society may think and say to you. Why even care? You're just starving yourself, training yourself to be an indoor person when you know you're really not. If you look back on your childhood, was you sitting indoors all the time? Was you one of those indoor kids? No. If you look back in your 20s and 30s, was you a person that was indoors all the time? No. 9 times out of 10, you're not an indoor person now. You're training yourself to be. And that means you're being starved of something spiritual. And it's affecting your mental health in ways you don't even see. Y'all, y'all know my morning videos can get on the weekends. I get powered up, So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I got to get to these workshops. I did this video to say thank you to everybody who sent donations. Thank you very much. Love the